Page 90, sandcastles. On the previous page or pages we talk about chord inversions for 7th chord. I already talked about it in a previous video. You simply turning the chords over. Big deal. It's like here goes to here and then to here. Oh, no big. As far as I'm concerned, that's wonderful, but let's go on. You're going to get these inversions in sandcastles. Okay, that's great. It's just when you recognize these chords and these pieces, it makes it easier to read the music because you just recognize the chord and you know the notes in the chord, and it just makes it easier. You don't have to figure out all these notes all the time. It makes sense. For instance, take the first measure. Both hands, it's here. All these notes are, put the E down here and get it, I mean, that's the 7th chord. The whole thing's a 7th. The next measure, same thing, it's a 7th chord. So all these notes they're using is, they're all 7th chords. Just their inversions or rearranging of the chords. I mean, you can move the notes in the chord around, but as long as you're playing those note names, it's that chord. So it's here. That's still a C7 chord, and a D7, E7. You just rearrange the chords. However, let's talk about this a little more closely. 4/4 time, no sharps or flats, right hand first. First line isn't too bad. They want 1-3 on everything. The idea is, it's nice you could do a 2/4 and a 3/5, not move around. The problem is you're in the way of the left hand, because it's like in the 3rd measure. You're here. Well, the left hand is here. I mean, you're on top of each other. So if you use 1-3 each time, you're out of the way. You're out of the way of the left hand can get there. So 1-3 is fine. Second line. Now you got to come up here, and you're ending the first line here. You just come up. 3rd finger, just lift up and move. That's all right. 1 and 2, 3, 4, thumb. 3 and 4 and cross over, 2nd finger, reach down. 3rd line, 5-3, and I do a 2 on the G sharp, just because I don't want to move my hand up in here. You can do a 1 if you want. I just do a 2. Either one is fine, and then go on. 4th line, 1 and 2, and hopefully you know what these notes are. You know the names of the notes. You're accustomed to seeing these notes way up high like this, because you're going to get them a lot. 3rd measure there. 5th finger, scrunch up. 2nd finger, because we're saving the thumb for the D. And then going on the next page. That's tied. And then rest, come down an octave. And you're doing the same thing. Now let's go to the 3rd line on page 91. Is you're here, cross over, and then say 4th finger. That's fine, it works out. The idea is we want to end up here. So we're fingering these 8th note runs to get us here. And they've done it for you. So it's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then under. You need to be able to do that. I give a little exercise for that in my scale videos, a little trill exercise I encourage you to do in them. It helps you to get that feeling, so when you run it across it in a piece, you just do it. You don't have to worry about it. And here, you can use thumb on the A flat. I prefer 2nd finger. But hold the A flat down, it's tied when you play the D. If you have little fingers, then you gotta use thumb and D here. If you have little fingers, this doesn't bother you too much because your fingers will fit okay. And then lift up. And the last line, E flat. And 2nd measure, it's E natural again because that flat's only good for that measure. And then 2. Here. Left hand, a lot of broken chords and things going on. So watch out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving around each time. Play it all legato, connect all of this. We're just doing this a lot. Let's go down to the 3rd line, 3rd measure, you're here. Cross over 3 on the F sharp, G sharp. Yes, 3rd ledger line above is G sharp, okay. and then lift up and come down. Now we got multiple voices going on. You got to hold the whole note down as you play the chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm using 5 on all these whole notes. Don't like to, but you kind of have to here. That's okay. And back to. And this is kind of interesting in the third line here. You're doing these broken chords, but they're tying them together. So you're holding them down. You're finger pedaling them, basically. Holding it down. Next measure, same thing. Hold it down, and then you get a rest, and then here, a C chord. And the last line, it's an E flat, a B flat, and a D flat. And then the 7th chord, another 7th chord, and the last measure. Come up. This mess you're looking at is actually a C chord with a D added to it. Another way of looking at it is to spell it out, which means start with the bottom note and work each note at a time. You have a C, a D, an E, a G. So you have to put the D offset because otherwise there isn't room for it. So that's how they do it. Play them all at the same time if you can. Hard to do. I can't do it, but you can do it, right? Put the hands together. This is all legato here in the left hand. Going a little bit fast, but the idea is get the hands working together. I don't want to actually play it off for you. I would really prefer you be able to read the music and figure it out yourself and get an idea what it sounds like from your own effort. Let's go down to the third line on page 91 with all these 8th notes. So you got a lot of notes down, but that's all right. Again, here. See, I'm holding all these notes down. Again, hold all these notes down and then lift them up together. Can't connect this. The pedal will help us out. That's all right. Do the best you can. Last line. Whatever. So you can add really the only articulation are the slurs in the right hand. The left hand needs to be as legato as you can make it, except for the rests. So the left hand, you just lift up between these slurs as best you can. And then the dynamics will moderately soft at the beginning, whatever that is. And here, the melody doesn't start till the second line, so the first line is introduction. Both hands are about the same. Because we want to hear all that together. Crescendo up to a moderately loud, back down to moderately soft. And now we're starting moderately loud, but that's the right hand. The left hand needs to be soft. And you don't get another indication until the top of page 91 when you come down to a moderately soft, which is just a little softer than moderately loud, and that's the right hand. I would not recommend playing all of page 90, those last 3 lines at one dynamic. Get to know the piece, and you can get a little louder and softer as you feel it. You don't have to stay right at medium loud the whole time. Ugh. So experiment with it. But then when you top of page 91, second measure, you're coming down. Now you're medium soft. And you're staying in medium soft to the third line, you're going to crescendo up to a loud. So starting with the last measure of the second line here. So there, that's loud. Now here, that's loud. That's where that's the climax of the piece right there. And you got a fermata to hang on to it and milk a little bit. and there's a retardando there too, so you can slow it down. Ta-da! Here we are. And then you're going to, off tempo means resume your speed, and you're still loud. Now you're moderately loud, a little softer. Now moderately soft, a little softer. And you're going to get slowed down. And these dynamics again go to the right hand. Keep the left hand out of the way. You have to experiment. Get to know it well enough that you can feel this. So this, on the third line down, this. That, you want to be able to hear. I tend to want to, I want the E to be the loudest, but this says the loudest is D. Here. Okay, whatever. Now for the tempo or the speed, they say moderate, somewhere in the middle. I don't know. What do you? It's the melody. What do you think that's kind of? That tells you how fast to go at the beginning. Whatever that is. The idea, I hope. I covered this, I know I covered this piece in another book because I did the Martha Mier, some of the books. I'm going to do some more. So she does some beautiful stuff. If you're looking for repertoire to play, I could recommend the Martha Mier stuff. Take a look at it. It's really nice. Now, divided pedal, and they're suggesting overlapping pedal. And if you look at the second line, second measure, you see the simile. That means just keep doing what you were doing. And since the simile is down by the pedal line, then it's referring to the pedal. So we're just going to keep pedaling it, change it, overlapping every measure. If I do that, this is what I get. Now, if you're okay with that sound, go with it. I find it very mushy. I don't care for it. I know there's simplifying the pedal for you to help you out. I want to complicate it a little bit. At the beginning, it's fine here. We're just setting the tone. So you can overlap. I mean, the left hand's all legato anyway. But here, the end of the first line, before I go on, I'm lifting the pedal with the right hand. I want silence before I play that. And the right hand. The left hand stays down. So the end of the first line. I don't know exactly how to describe the pedaling I would like you to use. If I had it in front of me, I can mark up your book. But right here in the second line, when it starts, I try not to pedal the eighth notes. And in the second measure, I don't pedal. I don't want both of these, so I don't pedal until the half note. Because I can finger pedal the first note of the left hand. And that means hold it down with the finger. Each of these, even though they're quarter notes, I can still hold it down to catch it. So if the pedal isn't down to catch the note, I can catch it with the finger. I still get the sound here. So if I don't push the pedal down the second beat, I still want this note, so I keep the finger down. And I recommend you do that. Just finger pedal the first note in the left hand each time. they're deliberately telling you not to pedal here. I guess they want all that smeared. Ugh. But here, and this is the last line, I don't pedal the eighth notes. Here they want you're building up climax. We can go ahead and let the overtones go. Just here, and then the pedal and all come up at the same time after the hold, and you go on. And I don't pedal the eighth notes, but I will pedal it after the half note. I want to connect the left hand, and I need the pedal for that. So it's. Last line, second measure, I pedal that F because I want to connect the left hand and I need the pedal. That's how I would pedal it because I like a cleaner sound than what they're doing. But you don't want to make the pedaling so complicated you can't do it. You have to experiment. Again, this is why we learn the stuff without pedal first, so you can hear it clearly and hear what the fingers are doing. Because if I want to finger pedal these notes in the left hand, I can do that without the pedal. I can hear what I'm doing. So in the second line on page 90, it's I hold that down. See, I can hear that note. So it helps to bring it out a little bit, and that's good. So I can hear, and then when I add the pedal, it's not quite. I got more leeway with the pedal because the fingers are helping me out. But I am pedaling it a little bit because I want the overtones. I want the color. I don't want it totally dry. So that sounds different than this. I want the overtones, so I add the pedal a little bit, just not so much to blur it. Let's try this together slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do dynamics. I will try and pedal it as I think it should be pedaled. We'll see what happens. It'll give us 4 counts. That fermata on page 91, I'm going to hold that 2 counts instead of 1. I got to stay with the metronome, so I have to time it. 1, 2, ready, go. 4, 2.